Okay guys, here's another one for you. It's not so much about the beat, this one, because it's based on a one drop, but this is called the Real Rock Riddim, or the Real Rock Riddim. Okay, and you can use this as a, you should know this rhythm, and you can use it to kind of branch off from the bass line and make variations on the bass line and stuff, right? But this is it, the Real Rock Riddim. Okay, so let's check it out. Put an empty 1-bar region on the drum track, put a cycle range around it. Okay, quantize set to 16ths, get the brush tool, brush in a row of closed hats. Like that at 16ths, select them all, make them nice and short, which, as I keep saying, doesn't make them play back shorter, it just makes them easier to manage. Get the velocity to about 100, they are at 100, right? And then we've got a velocity tool. We're going to select every other hat with holding down shift. Lower these right down. Got these at about 25, 20 or something, yeah. 19. Go even lower. I'm going to take them down to about 10. Like that. Okay, now every third hat in each quarter beat, I'm going to push up to the pedal. Like that. And the last hat in each half of the bar, I'm going to put the velocity of that up to about 40, say. Let's try that. No, a bit too much. 30, 35. Just want to hear these ones a bit more. Like that. Okay. Now, as I said, it's a one drop, right? So the kick drops on the 2. Give it some velocity. About 100. The kick drops on the 2 and the 4. And I'm using a snare for this. You can use a side stick, right? But snare. Okay, and I've changed the snare in the kit. I'll show you that a bit later, right? That's it, basically. Okay, but there's this drum, like someone's dropping a stick on a drum going like that, which drops on the 4 here with the snare and the kick. All right. So to get that, I've used the African kit. Let's put an empty region on its track, the African kit, which is in World Percussion African kit, and I think it's note F4 or something. It's more like a timbali. You want a round, you want a sort of not a hand drum type thing. Yeah, I'm going to use this timbali, but it you know, it can be any sort of fairly solid drum. Okay, and right on the drop here, I'll put in a note. Alright, and one there, one there. Right, let's just zoom in on that. Right, so that's the 4th beat. I've got a note on the 3/16 coming from the 4th beat. Right. Now I'm going to make them all shorter, like that. I'm going to move that one into the middle of that 16th. Move this one so it's right in the middle of that 16th line there, and space that one in the middle between them. Then Alt copy one back, Alt copy another back, and this one wants to be just with its edge on the line there, so it's just inside that line, right? Because as we get further back, the gap between them is getting slightly more. Right, then one more, and that one wants to be the same gap as this one, which is a little bit more than the gap between this one and this one. They've got the same gap there between here and here. This one is a little bit further back, that one's a fraction back further, and this one wants to come just a little bit further back still, because the bounce on the stick is getting kind of less, a little bit more gap, like something like that. Then the velocity. This one, right down to 4 or 5 or something. That one at about 25 or something. That one at 50 or 40 something. That one at 60. So they're going down like that. Right, let's just hear that. Yeah, like that. Just yeah. Just brought the velocity of that one down a smidge. So that one's, this one is 96, that's 71, 63, 46, 26, 27, 7. Alright, like that. Okay. Now the bass. Put a region on the bass track. Okay, and the bass, it's about this missing quarter beat, although there's a variation where you can put in the 2 quarter beats at the beginning. But we're going to miss this quarter beat out completely. I'm going to do this in A sharp. Where are we? Like that. There's the first quarter beat, miss it out, put a note there on that whole quarter beat. So this note is right on the drop, with the first snare drop on the 2, right? Bring its velocity up to about 70 or something, right? Okay, and then we go up to an E. We can put in rev 16ths like that. Shorten these a bit, just a little bit more. Then we're going to do a transition note, so bring this back, right, and then so that's D. So A sharp, D, E. Bring this one back a smidge from the line, right? A little bit too much. And that shouldn't be touching it. Okay, then we're going to velocity these. Make every other one lower, make them about 35 or something. Although the compressor's going to even this out quite a bit. A little bit less on that one. Okay, now I'm just going to try them just a little bit longer. Yeah, that's nice, and then make that one a bit longer so it smears into that one. And that's it. Alright, that's your Real Rock Riddim bass line. This missing quarter beat, the first bass note comes in on the drop. Boom, doo, 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 boom, doo, 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 like that. Okay, now the guitar, and I'm going to put a piano in this one as well, just to give it an extra rhythm instrument. In case you dropped into this video from YouTube, I'm saying this with all them. This is part of a whole playlist on reggae, making reggae music, and we're just going through a bunch of a whole bunch of beats and bass lines now, and for each one we're just putting in basic rhythm instrument. Right, we'll get to rhythm keyboards and things later. Right, we're just looking at beats and bass lines now. So what you want, there's a piano in the library called Before Talkies, right? It's in Piano Experimental Before Talkies, yeah, and it's a real old-fashioned Joanna type piano, right? Okay, now the bass is in A sharp, but it's not. It's strange this. So let's put the piano in. Put an empty region, right? And the piano's going to do chaps the same. We're going to put a guitar in afterwards. The piano's going to do chaps. The chaps fall in the middle of each quarter beat. Chank, 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 like that, right? So the bass line is in A sharp, right? So right in the middle of this quarter beat, put a note, shorten it, give it some velocity. At 100, so it's got some attack. Can you hear that attack with more velocity, right? Oh, like that. A sharp major, like that. Okay, give it even more velocity actually, so we can get it a bit harder, like that. Okay, and copy this into the middle of the other quarter beats. There, there, and there. Now, I'll just select the bass region. The bass goes up to an E, but this is harmonising with the chord. The chord drops down to a G. Sharp. Is it G sharp? I think so. Let me just hear that. G sharp major. Yeah, it does. G sharp major. Yeah, just make those a bit shorter. Now, that's the basic chords for the chap. But I've done it on the piano first. Select all those notes. Go to the edit menu here. Copy. Now we're going to go to the guitar track here, the one we've been using all the way through. I've just added this piano track, right? Put in an empty region. We've just copied the chap chords from the piano, right? We've got, this is the guitar region now, it's empty. We go to edit, paste at original position, and it pastes those chord notes in exactly the same place but on this region on the guitar track. And I'm going to shorten these even more to make them really chappy. Now I'm going to go back to the guitar, the piano. Right, these are the piano chords now. I'm going to put these up an octave. From A sharp for this bottom note here, I've selected all of them, get the bottom note, it's on A sharp 2, A sharp 3. So the piano's an octave above the guitar now, right, there you go. That's the rhythm basics. And now the organ lick, and this has to be in a Real Rock Riddim really. It doesn't matter if you slightly change the bass line or something, but the organ lick. So I've got here the classic rock organ. Yeah, classic rock organ there, right? Put a track there already, and this is in Legacy Garage Band Organs Classic Rock Organ. But it's, look, listen to it, right? It's a sort of cheesy Hammondy organ. You want to just find a cheesy Hammondy type organ. Really, this lick is done on an old, I don't know, Farfisa electric organ or something. It's a cheesier sound, but you want something fairly thin and cheesy, right? Put in an empty region on the organ track, and in the middle of the second beat here, that note, A sharp, in the middle of the second beat, right in the middle, put that note. Lower its velocity a little bit. Oh, it needs to be louder than that. Put the velocity up again, sorry, let's hear that. Right, I have to put the organ track up a bit. Needs to go up an octave, I think. Yeah, up an octave, let's try it there. And on the next 16th it goes to that note. And then a note before. So it goes. But these notes are wrong, hang on That's it. That's the lick. Right, and then grab them all and just bring them back a bit. There it is, Real Rock Riddim, right? Now let's go to the bass. You can put in the first note on the first quarter beat of the bar. It's still a Real Rock Riddim. Like that. I'm going to shorten these notes a little bit, just a smidge. Yeah, that's better. Now, you can put this extra note in, but to get this bass line to have the right feel, and these notes don't sound too like machine gunny, let's just look at what I've done with the bass channel, you know, the instrument and the settings for it. Right, here's the bass track. First of all, the EQ. I've got the EQ, the high cut at 118, could be 110, 12, whatever. I'm cutting everything above 110, 115, 16, 17, 18, everything above it is cut. Little bit of boost on this 75 Hz low shelf, right? Got some compression on, 5:1. I'm getting about 7 dB of gain reduction. Well, actually, it's a bit more than that now. About 10 dB of gain reduction. The threshold's here at just below 20, just above 20. Sorry. Longish release, about just over 500 milliseconds. You don't want this release to be short, so that the compressor can recover in between these notes, right? I've got the makeup gain just a smidge over 0. It's like at 7 dB, right? 7.5 to get. I want a nice loud bass here, right? But the thing is, on the EXS sampler itself, what I've done is I've given it some attack on the amp envelope. 20 milliseconds of attack, so the notes aren't coming in, they're fractionally fading in, and that stops these notes from being too bomb 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 bomb, like right attacking, and too robotic and staccato. A little bit of attack, 20 milliseconds. You can even go above that if you want, and the release is set to about 144 milliseconds, right? I've got the filter on, I've got the cutoff there, everything else down, right? Well, a little bit of drive, but that's what it was at before, I think. The more I bring this attack up, the more the longer the notes take to come in, so that these staccato notes the fast fingered 16ths become even softer, like that. Yeah? So mess with that attack time to get a nice soft sort of. Yeah? You don't want it to be bomb 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 bomb, really staccato, right? So I've got it at 35 milliseconds now, right? And as I said, the Real Rock Riddim original doesn't have this note in, it's missing. but you can have it in. Also, this note can be brought out like that. Okay, but you can do all sorts of variations with the bass here. You know, once you start branching away from the Real Rock Riddim, right, which is, it's got to have that row, okay, and it's got to have that note. It can have this one optionally, right, but you can start branching away from this. You could do a little dip, you know, there's all sorts of things you could do with it to branch away. Like that could become an eighth. And that could become an eighth. So it's do 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 at the end. Yeah, or you could do drop that note down. So do 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 do. And then end with an eighth. Oops, sorry. End with an eighth. So do 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 do, like that. You know what I mean? You can go off on this and modify the bass line to sort of branch away from the Real Rock Riddim classic bass line, right? Okay, but there it is, Real Rock Riddim, right? Based on a one drop, but it's about this bass line and the organ lick, right? And by the way, with it being a one drop, yeah, you can do, come on drums, come up here. This can be a side stick. I could put in a double there. But this snare drum I'm using, I changed the snare drum, as I said. I'll just show you what I did with the snare. Oh, no. I just changed the snare to I changed it to the bell brass, dampened totally down, but I put the leak channel on, right? So in the mixer, okay, come on, there's my snare channel there, right? And I've EQ'd the snare like this with a scoop out, right? 5k smidge of boost, 100 Hz, 110 Hz smidge of boost, right? Giving it a bit more compression. But the leak channel is now working. This is not a room mic, this is an ambient mic for the snare. So there's a little bit of ambient and it's up really high, right? Yeah? Okay. And there's a fraction of spring reverb on that and a bit of spring reverb on the snare itself. So this gives a louder rim shot, this snare, right? So because I've now, come on, because I've now switched this to a rim shot, these notes are a bit loud, so I'll lower the velocity of them down. So you can do all the rim shot stuff that you might do in a one drop, and you can do it whether or not it's the side stick. You can do this thing, you know, you can do the classic one drop lick, you know, like that. You can even do that if it's a snare. Put the velocity up for the snare. Yeah, like that. Kick's not quite coming through, is it? I'll put the velocity up more. 112. You know what I mean? So you can do one drop, you know, all sorts of little licks you can do in there. Here you could have the snare there but still do a side stick there. Come on, a bit of a delay on things now, but just lower these down. this could be a nice loud low tom or something. Or a high or mid tom, whatever. You know, this, leave that one there. These could come up and be a tom. Give them some velocity though, nice and loud. Yeah, as you can also little variations you can put in on the drums, right? But in essence, that's it. You can put a slice at the end of the pattern. Etc. Whatever you like, right? Real Rock Riddim. Yeah. Hope that's useful. I'll see you for the next one. Oh yeah, and just to show you, if you want to listen to a whole variety of Real Rock Riddims, look for this video on YouTube, Real Rock Riddim Compilation. There's loads of Real Rock Riddims. This is Eka Mouse.
Girl big and fat, yo. Bang bang, many bang bang the oin. Me want to know if Joe grind or anorexia do the ad. All of us certain our friends them match a ad. Hey, the other time me sight them our at. Hey, I sight them at Reggae Sunsplash. Bang bang bang.
Yeah, he's Eka Mouse, absolutely. I'll tell you what, that Eka Mouse Mouseketeer album, that is one of the great albums of all time. Mouseketeer. Get that album. Listen to it. The album's on YouTube. Genius album, especially that one. There's a track, Buckingham Palace, where he's talking about there was a famous incident in London. This is way back, you know, in the early 80s, where a guy was broke into Buckingham Palace, right, and he was supposed to have been found in the Queen's bedroom. And seriously, the guy, like, I don't know how he got in. He climbed up the wall or something. He got in, and he's got one of the songs is, and the lyric goes, some of them are saying him a get nothing yet, some of them are saying that he come out in a sweat. That cracks me up, that fucking track, absolutely does. Pardon for swearing. Right, there we go, the Real Rock Riddim. Okay, hope that's useful. See you for the next one.